This is lesson 1 of chapter 1 for probability and statistics. Our topic today is data. Our essential outcome for the day is that you'll be able to look at a data set and determine the variables, types, and individuals in the situation. Make sure you have your textbook today, as you are going to need it. You're going to be reading a few pages out of the textbook as we go through the lesson today. So this first slide on here, it's just a survey, and so what I'm going to, in just a minute, there's going to pop up a bunch of information, and we're just going to talk about it. So to see, there's some information filled in this table. So if we look at this table, we've got 3 people. We have Jake, Rachel, and John. Now, Jake is in 7th grade. He has 5 siblings. Last night he got 3 hours of sleep. He's in lunch hour 4. His favorite sport is Ash, which stands for football. He's got a TI-83 for a calculator, and his favorite food is pizza. And so all of these different things about Jake, these are all different data that we can collect. We can do this with anybody. Go through this list of questions and ask them, and you can collect all this data. And what data really is it's just information about different things. And so we take this data and we do statistics with it, and we find out information about this data. And that's what this course is really about. So what I'd like you to do right now is to grab your textbook and open to pages 1 through 4 and read those pages. They're very informational. Take some notes on them as you go, but we're also going to talk about them a little bit more in our lesson. Assuming that you did go through and you read through pages 1 through 4 of your textbook, so now let's move on. Right here what I have is just kind of a word map of our big word that we're talking about right in this class, statistics, okay? Probability and statistics. So it's one of the key elements of our class. So you might ask, what is statistics? Well, if you just read your textbook, you learn that statistics is the art and science of dealing with data. So statistics, it's taking all that data that we've collected and what do we do with it? That's what statistics is. So if we were to come up with an example of statistics is that 12.5% of fatal crashes were caused by 15 to 20-year-olds. This is some data that you take, and then you can summarize it and you can collect it and you can find out this information. So we can also represent that statistics with multiple different visual representations. And so our first one on here is a bar graph. So here we have a bar graph, here we have a line graph, and here we have a circle graph. All of these things are created using data, and we take that data to make these different statistics. And then what we have is like, what is statistics not? Well, it's not just data. It's more than that. It's the art and science of dealing with this data. So we go out, we find out all this data. Now what do I do? That's what statistics is. So in your textbook, they talked about four different vocabulary terms: individuals, variables, categorical, and quantitative. And so what I would like you to do now is to try and find out definition, just like we set up that last box. We did what it is, the definition, the example. Well, it's about crashes. We drew a picture, we had those 3 different pictures, and then we had what it's not. I'd like you now to do the exact same thing with these next 4 terms, with individuals, variables, categorical, and quantitative. Word map these, define them, give an example, give a picture, and what it's not. So now that you've done that, check with what I have here. I say that individuals are objects described by a set of data. Individuals are people, animals, or things. It's who the data is about. A picture of that, there we go, is, okay, well, we got a person, we've got a hamburger, we've got a puppy. And what it's not a description or a characteristic. It is the thing itself. Variables is our next word, and variables are any characteristic of an individual, and they can take on different values depending on the situation. Some variables that we will use this year are eye color, hair color, and size. Variables, here's some pictures where we see that we have 2 people there. One person is a lot taller than the other, and the other person's a lot shorter. That's a variable. The height is the variable in that situation. Then we have eye color, well, that changes from person to person. That's a variable. Next, we have what it's not. It's not a person, place, or thing. Categorical. Categorical is a type of variable. It places an individual in one of several groups or categories. So categorical, it categorizes. Examples: job, type, gender, area code. And here we have different categories, different areas of Minnesota, zip codes. And what it's nothing that we measure. It's not an age or a weight. Quantitative, on the other hand, those are the numerical values that you can add or average. So those are things like hours of sleep, age, height, different things like that. Quantitative, if I can get this thing to go, pictures, I don't have any pictures right now. What it's not words, it's not a phone number, it's more than that. Think about it as data you can manipulate, that you can do stuff with. I have this problem about fast food, and so what I would like you to do now is to go through and think about what individuals and variables are recorded in this data set and identify those. And then I would like you to classify each variable as quantitative or categorical. So first, identify what are the individuals and what are the variables. Then, when you find out those variables, classify them as quantitative or categorical.